All right, guys, this will be Friday's workout for July 3rd. The prep is going to be 6 minutes. We have ISB, cat-cow, loaded position 1. So that could be a kettlebell, a dumbbell, a bumper plate. Coaches, I would encourage that you have everybody meet at the board during the prep. You do a solid demonstration, inhale, brace, move, keeping that breath and that brace until the leg comes all the way back to home base. Just so we're kind of reintroducing bracing mechanics since we've got some new folks in the gym. So obviously on deadlift day we want to be braced nice and solid, so this will just be a nice way to kind of call back to that. So we'll see that every Friday. We also have 8 static lateral lunges and 10 jumping jacks. The warm-up, it's going to be a little bit shorter, 7 minutes at a high output, 4 burpees, 6 air squats, 8 kettlebell swings, or kettlebell sumo deadlift high pull. So just like we talked about, when was that, Tuesday? If kettlebell swings are bothersome on the individual's low back, then sumo deadlift high pull will be the modification. It'll be in the same family of movements. It'll get warmed up for deadlift, but it won't aggravate the low back in any way, or should not. The swings and the sumo deadlift high pulls are both being performed at moderate weight, so it shouldn't be anything too heavy as we warm up. And then finally, 10 elevated lateral skaters utilizing a 45-pound bumper plate. Okay. Then on Fridays, we're going to do a little bit of strength and conditioning. 25 minutes of work. We're going to be deadlifting, but we're starting at 4 reps, and each new round we're going to drop one off until we get to singles, and then they're just going to stay at 1 rep every new round after that. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, so on and so forth, depending on how many rounds they get, right? Deadlifts are going to be go by feel, heavy, if they're feeling good for it, with pause resets on the multiples, right? So let me finish out all the different tasks, and then we'll go into kind of my concept behind this. So deadlifts, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Then we'll follow it up each round with 3 strict pull-ups or chin-ups, as challenging as possible and unbroken. And then a sprint push run or 350 meters on the air bike. And those that can do both things, run and air bike, can mix it up throughout. So they don't have to pick one and stay with it. Obviously, if the person can't run, then they're stuck on the bike. But if they can do both things, they can mix it up, okay? So deadlifts, pull-ups or chin-ups, and then a little bit of cardio work, either taking the sprint push run or the air bike, right? Cycling through that for 25 minutes. Now, the thought process behind this, and you don't necessarily need to go into all this detail, but just so you guys know, and then maybe come up with your own language to convey this. The idea being that we're going to essentially find the day's 1 rep max with some other valuable tasks. What I've found is that if we focus on, let's say we're doing every 3 minutes for 21 minutes and it's just 1 deadlift, right? If we focus on trying to find a 1 rep max, like that's the sole purpose, the tendency is for people to get in their head. They make weight increases that maybe their body isn't quite ready for. And this format, we're getting a lot of good beneficial work in association with the deadlift, but the possibility of finding a new 1 rep max will happen organically over the 9 weeks. This won't always be the same situation. We might play with different formats here, but the idea is that we're going to do some work, but within that work, you're essentially hunting down the day's 1 rep max. And I feel like that takes the pressure out of the situation. And then those new 1 rep max deadlifts kind of happen organically versus being kind of forced with just that sole focus, right? So that's my thought process. I'm not saying it's the perfect concept or anything like that, but I've found that this gets us into heavy territory without getting us so focused in on getting heavy that we actually see mechanical breakdown and potentially injury, okay? So just preface, this is go by feel, they can get heavy, but there's other work to be done as well, right? The finisher, we're gonna do 4 sets with pace. It's important that they move through this with a little bit of pace. So it's not necessarily a high intensity finisher, but it is gonna be a heavy breather, right? So we've got sandbag walking lunges. Sandbags are meant to be light to moderate, not super heavy. We'll start at the cone here at the end of the bumper plates, walk down to the cones that I have set out, down and back, walking lunges with the sandbag on our back, okay? Light to moderate. Then 20 hollow body rocks, and then we're gonna carry this unbroken push-up challenge, if you will, into Fridays in this current cycle. So they're gonna pick either 10, 15, or 20 for their reps and do an unbroken set of push-ups. Now, if they start at 20, and let's say the first 2 sets are successful, the 3rd set, they're like, oh man, I think I need to just stick with 15 for the last 2, that's fine. But I would encourage athletes to pick a number and stay with it and challenge themselves with high quality, unbroken push-ups, okay? Just like we did in the previous cycle. So they can pause, they can pike, they just can't take their hands off the floor or put their knees down, right? So should be pretty spicy to finish up the Friday workout. Cool. Seat covers are in. Remind them to make that Venmo payment before they leave. And then the new cycle is on the back side of the board. If you have any follow-up questions about thought process on the strength and conditioning, just let me know. But I think this will work well in trying to get some folks into some new 1 rep max territory without putting the pressure on them. All right? Cool. Thanks, guys.